What is going on, everybody? Welcome back here to the channel. I'm Sean Davis. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button as hard as you possibly can and subscribe here to the channel for more great Lakers content and coverage. We have a lot of stuff to break down on the video today. I'll be live tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific to do a live Q&A previewing this Lakers Timberwolves series. And then my hope is tomorrow, probably around midday, I will have my Lakers Timberwolves film breakdown out for previewing the series, breaking down some of the key matchups for the Lakers and how they can take advantage and also slow down some of the stuff that Minnesota wants to do. And then Friday, we'll have some other stuff planned. Saturday is game one. But first, let's start off with this. So the schedule, the schedule is officially announced for round one. I do really quickly want to go over it in case we haven't seen it. So game one is Saturday. But notice the amount of gaps in this series. So Lakers game one is Saturday. They don't play again until Tuesday. So they'll get 2 days off in between games one and games two. Then they'll get another 2 days off in between games two and game three. They'll have 1 day off in between game three and game four. Then for a potential game five, they would have another 2 days off in between game four and game five. And then after that, it will be every other day. So Lakers, I think, getting a huge, I don't know if benefits the doubt the right word, but this is awesome for the Lakers. You let Bron, you let Rui, who's also nursing a knee injury, kind of get back into and recover pretty quickly and not have to have, consecutive games. Like the OKC series, I think, is essentially every other day the entire series, for example. So yeah, that's huge for the Lakers to be able to kind of space the series out and get as much rest time as possible. I know there's going to be some people in the comments saying, well, this also works out for Minnesota too. Well, I don't care. We're looking at this from a Lakers point of view. Speaking of Lakers point of view, a little bit of an update as well. Redick says that Maxi Kleber, and here we'll get the tweet pulled up for you guys from my buddy Jovan Buha of The Athletic. Jovan does obviously a bunch of great stuff. My video with Jovan from the other day, JJ says that Maxi Kleber has begun on-court activity with the group, but there's still no timetable for his return. The Lakers did conditioning and shooting drills today. This would be yesterday. No live action. Kleber was a full participant in that game. So I still don't know when we're going to expect to see Maxi Kleber back. However, Maxi Kleber, I think, can actually really contribute and actually really help out the Lakers in this series, because what Maxi Kleber does is he's just a legitimate small ball five. Like, that is his job, and he can space the floor. This is a lower year for him, space three-point shooting wise, but he's still a somewhat credible threat, I think, for the Lakers in terms of their ability to stretch the floor. He can attack closeouts and, be a somewhat of help on the off or on both glasses, honestly. But I think the most appealing part about Maxi Kleber is his switchability defensively. I think he's a super versatile 4-5 defender that can switch up or switch down, however you kind of want to look at it. Again, was having the best season of his career, and that's primarily due to the fact that he was only shooting 26.5 from three. So, again, take that with, how you will. But Maxi Kleber has the connection with Luka, really solid pick and pop option. And something that Luka's accustomed to over the past 4 seasons. Maxi Kleber last season shot 34.8% from three. Then the year before that, again, 34.8% from three. Year before that, 32.5% from three on way larger volume. And then the year before that, shot 41% from three. Again, this is a career low from three. It's also a career low in volume from three as well for Maxi Kleber. So you get Maxi Kleber back. I don't know how much he would play, but I think he's a guy that could actually contribute and be somewhat of an option for the Lakers off the bench if he is able to return, because of his switchability and because of his ability to knock down pick and pop threes and potentially even play off the catch. So no update on his foot injury. He had to have surgery back in January, if I recall correctly. Yep, his last game was against the Boston Celtics on January 25th, right before the Luka trade. So hopefully Maxi Kleber is able to get back in time for an extended playoff run. And again, it is definitely a good sign that Maxi Kleber is somewhat nearing a return, even though there's no clear timetable. That could also be viewed as a positive thing as well, considering that no clear timetable. That could technically mean Maxi Kleber could be back for game 2 or game 3. They literally just don't know. It could also mean he's back in the finals. They just don't know yet. So hopefully the Lakers are able to get Maxi Kleber back at some point. I think, again, his skill set is something that could actually be used for the Lakers. JJ Redick did talk about this today in the after practice press conference, or presser, if you will. He talks about why taking care of the ball is one of the biggest keys in this series. And if you watch the first couple of games in the regular season series, specifically the 2 matchups in December, then he has the point. Let's take a listen to head coach JJ Redick.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest keys to the series. It's just our ability to get a shot. Everybody talks about Nikhil and McDaniels as these disruptive defenders, which they are. They're 2 of the best in the NBA, but Knecht on the ball, DiVincenzo on the ball, DiVincenzo in dribble handoffs. Those guys are really disruptive. There's things that we have to do that are sort of non-negotiable for us to run good offense. I think beyond just, hey, this guy's ball hawking me, there's other parts of it that lead to turnovers that you just have to have really good awareness with.
All right, so shout out JJ Redick. And one of the biggest reasons why he's talking about this is because if you go back, outside of this, the stuff that he touched on in general, I really do think that Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jaden, and I think all 3 of those guys are disruptors to JJ Redick's point. If you go back to those 2 matchups in December, this is when the Lakers arguably were at rock bottom. Like December 2nd, when these 2 teams played, Lakers really, really struggling. Lakers scored 80 points, and they had over 20 turnovers in this game. LeBron James had 6 turnovers. This is a relatively healthy Lakers team. No Austin Reeves in this game. And this is also pre-Dorian Finney-Smith trade. But LeBron had 6 turnovers. Lakers had 20 turnovers as a team in the December 2nd game. And then if you go to December 13th, the Lakers, 87 points scored in this game. You get Austin back, but no LeBron James. And the Lakers had 21 turnovers. As a matter of fact, every player in the starting lineup had at least 2 turnovers. And D'Angelo Russell off the bench had 2 turnovers as well, along with Cam Reddish. She also had multiple turnovers. So the Lakers have to be a team that can make sure they take care of the ball. They're right now on the season, they're middle of the pack in turnover percentage. On the season, Minnesota is 11th in opponent turnover percentage. So Minnesota does a pretty decent job at forcing turnovers. Minnesota is also, if you will look at their offensive rebounding percentage, Minnesota's 14th in offensive rebounding percentage at 30%. Overall, 30% offensive rebounding percentage. With Rudy Gobert on the floor, that number even somewhat increases. So I think this is a better offensive rebounding team than the stats potentially even give credit for. Because when Rudy's on the floor, they have a really, really good shot of getting second chance opportunities. So not letting the math game and making sure you get extra possessions are going to be really, really pivotal for this Lakers team. And then if we go post All-Star break for the Lakers in terms of turnover percentage, the Lakers are bottom 6 in the league. As a matter of fact, post All-Star break, the Lakers post All-Star break, the Lakers out of every single playoff team have the lowest turnover percentage out of any team that made the playoffs. The team that's closest to the Lakers in turnover percentage, Lakers are 25th, the Warriors are 21st, then the Nuggets at 20. So that is something to potentially be concerned about for this Lakers team. They also don't do a particularly great job of offensive rebounding. They're 20th since the All-Star break in offensive rebounding percentage. So those are a couple of things I think JJ cares about, and I hope that they are points of emphasis for the Lakers heading into this first round matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I picked the Lakers in 6 initially. I need to dive into a little bit more film. I'm going to be doing that over the next few hours before the live stream tonight. So if you're watching this after the fact, go check out the live stream. I have a lot of fun stuff that we'll be talking about over there. And really quickly, I'm going to take this off now. Nico Harrison just won't shut his trap about the Luka deal. I mean, he's basically quadrupled down on the Luka trade saying, I mean, anybody that was there at his press conference that had no audio available or no cameras allowed basically said the amount of times that defense wins championships is absurd. And to a certain extent, yes, that is very, very cliche. And yes, defense does really, really matter in terms of winning a championship. Historically speaking, you need a top 12 defense to win an NBA championship. You also need a top 12 offense too, mind you, to win an NBA championship. There's only been 2 teams in NBA history to not have a top 12 offense and a top 12 defense to win a title. That's the 2001 Lakers that coasted in the regular season and then was the best playoff defense throughout that entire run. And they had Shaq and Kobe. And I think that's the year like D Fish was hurt. There's something weird, something injury related that affected that team as well. And then the 2023 Nuggets that stopped caring about basketball for the last month or two, and they had the best player on the planet in Jokic. So only 2 outliers in NBA history are those 2 like all-time teams, right? So is Nico right? Yes. But you don't get a chance at getting a guy like Luka every blue moon. I feel like Nico is kind of ignoring the part of GMing where it's okay, like, yeah, defense wins championships. Let's build a defense around Luka. And I think Luka has shown over last year's run and this year, even with the Lakers, that he is a capable team defender. I thought last year you had this BS stat that ESPN made or whatever that we've never heard before called blow-bys per game or whatever. And yes, Luka was getting blown by. But to a certain extent, that was a part of Dallas's defensive scheme. They wanted you to do that on purpose because they were doing a lot of peel switching. And they pretty consistently had a reliable secondary rim protector on the baseline. So where if Luka did get beat on a blow-by, then they were immediately getting funneled into a crowd of defenders and a rim protector at the rim being Lively or Gafford or PJ as a weak side guy. And then this year with the Lakers, I think Luka has good positional size, which makes him super switchable. And then also he's a good defensive rebounder, and he's like ultimately like a pretty good helper, I think, at this point. Somewhat active in the passing lanes. He has good utility defensively. Now, is he a good point of attack defender? No. Is he a good rim protector? No. But that's where you build the rest of that stuff around him. And I think it's complete and utter BS to say that, defense wins championships. Yeah, we know that. Build the defense around Luka. I feel like we are eliminating the part where it's Nico Harrison, do your job. And that's kind of the frustrating part for me is I think like Nico's just avoiding the fact that, dude, do your job, to be quite honest with you. Like defense with championships, yes, but that is literally what your job is. We have a generational talent in Luka Doncic to do your damn job. That's literally it. Really quickly, check in the Lakers data since the Luka trade. Lakers are 15th in net rating. Wait, hold on. We'll get this fixed. All right, Lakers, 33 games since the Luka trade. They are 12th in net rating. The Lakers are 17th in defensive rating. And if we're comparing them really quickly to the 23 Nuggets, the 23 Nuggets was also 17th in defensive rating. And the Lakers are 13th in offensive rating. And we're going off of true shooting percentage. The Lakers offense is even better. They're 8th in true shooting percentage. Again, they have somewhat of a turnover issue. So I think there's maybe the Lakers are another outlier. Bron and Luka, and in the playoffs, they were able to ramp up the defense even more. We've seen really, really good stretches from this team defensively. But you guys let me know in the comment section down below. Could Maxi Kleber really, really help this Lakers team? What are your thoughts on the Lakers' potential key to victory against the Minnesota Timberwolves? And as always, subscribe right here to the channel for the best Lakers content out there. Till next, everybody, as always, go Lake Show. Catch you guys later on tonight. As always, stay safe. Peace out.